What's up, guys? Spin Firearms here, and people always get on me for making a lot of videos about Glocks, a lot of videos specifically on the Glock 26. And my response, I try to be respectful, I try to be nice, is guys, it's my channel, it's my favorite firearm, it's also a lot of other people's favorite firearms. I'm going to make videos on what I want to make videos on over here. But like I've said multiple times, is if you guys have suggestions, you want me to review this trigger, review this, send it to me. Go on my Instagram, DM me what you want me to review. Hundreds of people do it. Hundreds of people just send me their firearms. Literally, I get probably 5 different firearm builds a day. People send it to me. They said, thanks for this. This was an awesome recommendation. This is an awesome holster, awesome grips, awesome sights, and so on. And I just have normal conversations. I'm a regular, everyday person just like everyone else. And we just have these conversations about firearms in the DMs. And it's actually, I like it. It's fun. I don't mind at all. I love to see how other people build their firearms, their creations, what sights they use. And a lot of people make some awesome stuff. I've been very impressed by you guys. It's awesome to see this. Anyways, like I said, just let me know what you guys want to see. It's that simple. You don't have to come at me for making videos about the Glock 26. It's my favorite firearm, guys. I carry it the most. I have the most experience with it. Between all my Glock 26s, I probably have easily 30 or 40,000 rounds through them. No issues, except for on a P80 build, a broken striker with a cheap parts kit. But Glocks where Glock internals are being used with some aftermarket stuff here and there, but only reliable brands, they've been solid and they suit my needs. So therefore, I am going to build them up, and I'm going to continue to make videos on them. It is what it is. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it, but plenty of other people like to watch it. Anyways, a lot of people have been wanting me to do more content on the CSX, and I know a lot of people are curious about the Shield Plus. Anyways, CSX. Benefits, or positives. The ergonomics are awesome. The grip texture is amazing. The aluminum frame, really, you don't think so. You probably wouldn't think this until shooting it, but the aluminum frame, even though it's still so light, it really handles the recoil. It sort of reminds me of the GX4, the way the GX4 inserted metal inserts throughout the frame. And they did that recoil purposes, and also just to strengthen up their frame, which sort of makes you wonder, hey, why do you need those there in the first place? Were you nervous about the frame cracking from shots or what? But anyways, it reminds me of that. The aluminum acts as a way of handling recoil. Out of all the double stack micro 9s out there, this is the best shooting. This is a 3-inch barrel, a much shorter slide though than your SIG P365 and your Hellcat, which is about out to here. Very short slide. It is going to be hammer fired, so it does have that safety, so you can be cocked and locked, which some people are comfortable with, some people aren't. It is what it is, but they do give you that option. It has a 1911 style trigger, but it does have that dingus, and it's going to be a little different, not as smooth or clean as a reset and so on, which I'm sure you guys have heard of. This dovetail right here is awesome. You can really get a good grip on the firearm. Like I said, the most ergonomic double stack 9 out there by far. On top of that, the slide has an amazing finish on it. Beautiful finish on it. Metal sights, a great shooter right out of the box. You literally don't need to do anything to this except for add night sights. Now, I don't carry it as much as I should, but it's an awesome firearm. I promise you guys, if you try it, you'll probably love it. Let's move on. The Shield Plus. This is a different firearm. So if I had to choose between the two, it's sort of hard for me to pick because I love them both. But honestly, you know what? I'm not even going to say what I would choose. And here's why. They both have such good, qualities to them that honestly it depends on how they feel in your hand. And in my hand, the CSX feels better than the Shield Plus, but once I put my handle edge series grips on here, I promise you it'll probably end up being something I go to more than the CSX. Anyways, the Shield Plus trigger is more of an everyday carry style trigger. In my opinion, it's the best trigger on any carry firearm out of the box, unless you get into the thousands of dollars for firearms. But if you stay under $800, this is going to be your best trigger. It has awesome rear serrations. Once again, Smith & Wesson has an amazing finish on all their firearms. They do a great job with that. You have these little front serrations for press checks. And yes, guys, people say press checks are pointless. They're really not. I hate to break it to you, they are not, especially in certain situations, emergency situations, encounters, malfunctions. They are not. They are not. There's a reason for them. Now, this one does have a manual safety too. I've never even used it. It's never been turned on an accident. It is what it is. The capacity on this is good, but it's because the grip is so thin where I have a hard time. It's sort of like a weird grip. 12 rounds in here. I believe this is 12 as well. Let's see here. And all fire. 13. Yep, so 13. 13 and 12. But as you can see, it is much, much thinner down in the grip area. Length of the slides, look at that. And the Shield Plus is a 3.1 inch barrel. And then there's length of the actual firearms compared. It is thinner. It's just an overall smaller surface area with the CSX. Both have awesome triggers in my opinion. Both handle recoil well. I do give the trigger up to the M&P Shield because I'm more used to triggers like this. I'm not as used to the 1911 trigger, but this is an awesome trigger. I promise you, I love the CSX. It's just the Shield Plus outdid themselves with their new style of trigger. No longer that hinge trigger anymore. So both have been reliable, so zero issues there. It just all depends. I'm telling you guys, you can take recommendations from me, but you guys have to go out there and grab these firearms yourself. You have to go shoot them yourself. You have to go see how comfortable you feel with them yourselves. And that's honestly the only answer I can give you. I can tell you my experiences, but those won't translate into your world. And that's what a lot of people get on me for, even though I try to say it in every single video. But I'm not always the best at communicating things, so it is what it is. The texture on both of them are great. Recoil control on both of them are great, although this handles recoil better than this larger firearm, and that's the aluminum frame. It's a little heavier, and so on. But both have good capacity for everyday carry nowadays. This is super small. People don't realize how tiny the CSX is. It is a tiny, tiny double stack Micro 9, smaller than a P365, smaller than a Hellcat. It is a tiny firearm, but a great shooter nonetheless, one of my favorites. The Shield Plus is so thin in the grip, it sort of makes it awkward for some people. I would say that's the number one complaint of it. It's fine in my hands. It was awkward at first compared to like my big thick Glocks and stuff like that, but I've gotten used to it. Like I said, I'll throw Handle Edge Series grips on there. It'll add a little texture, which it doesn't need, but it'll add good texture that I like and I'm used to, plus a little width to it, which should make it perfect. But both of these are just undeniably great firearms. And I know people want to go for a Glock or want to go for a Taurus or want to go for a SIG. Don't count Smith & Wesson out. These are two amazing firearms, and this is stuff they came up with this year. You know, the big trigger update, the Micro 9. But in my opinion, this is the perfect size firearm for carry. It's not too small to the point where you can't get a good grip, and it's the recoil control and stuff. But it's also not too big to where you're struggling to conceal it and so on. Whereas the CSX just handles recoil like a beast for how tiny it is. It's a good trigger on it, great serrations. They're just good firearms. I'm really happy Smith & Wesson came out with them this year. And I'd like to see or get the equalizer, get my hands on that because I felt it. Basically what it felt like to me was a beefed up Shield Plus, which the grip right away on the equalizer felt so good in the hand. Yeah, it has a grip safety. I don't care. They tend to be reliable with good manufacturers, and it's all about the testing you do with your firearm. But anyways, two great options from Smith & Wesson. Anyways, thanks for watching.